Hey, what's up, everyone? Young Fresh Global Travel here. Um, Out here in Brooklyn, New York, my hometown, where I live, and posting this video to give y'all an update. I have some pretty good news. Um, if y'all been following me, you know I've been posting some stuff about remote jobs, and really, I know for me, I was trying to find one myself, not just a remote job, because those are, I think, for the most part, it's not that hard to get a remote job as much as people may think. It really isn't. I think the challenge is where you're with a company and you're in a different country, and especially if you get a hater like I had. I used to work for a hater, and she just used to, just ask me like, oh, this tax, this, did you look at the tax consequences, like all this other stuff, and I'm like, yes, yes. Did you look into the visa? Yes, yes. So, even though she sounded like she wanted to help, she was just full of shit. Anyway, so my goal is to move to the Philippines. I've always wanted to move to the Philippines. I love the Filipino people. I love the culture of the Philippines. Unfortunately, I did not get close to that goal yet. Well, I am close to that goal. I haven't achieved that goal of moving there yet. But I will be going to Tokyo. I was able to manage to get a job at a private equity company and I did that strategically. I made sure, I said, hey, let me find a job, that's based in New York, that I could get the New York salary. Or if you're watching this, try to find a job that's, that can get you a San Francisco salary, or, a Chicago salary, right? And then you can take that salary overseas. I was able to do that, and we have a Tokyo office, and I pretty much was working for them now for about a year, and I just was busting my ass doing what I got to do, showing them that I know what I'm doing, that I know what I'm doing. And I said, hey, I know we have a Tokyo office, and I service Tokyo, for the type of work that I do. I service a Tokyo office. I service Singapore. We also have a Saudi Arabia office, right? China, I didn't want to go there. Hong Kong, I didn't want to go there. No offense to anybody that's Chinese. I just didn't want to go to China. So I picked Tokyo, and I said, you know what? Tokyo is not that far from the Philippines. And so that's really just an update I wanted to give you all. If you are trying to find a remote job, try to find a remote job and moving to Asia. It's really not that hard. You just got to look to see if does the company have a presence in that country that you want to move to. In my case, I will move to the Philippines. I probably won't move there this year, but I'm definitely gonna move there, soon. I'll just have to, travel from Tokyo to the Philippines, and so I'll probably work from Tokyo maybe 2 to 3 days a week. Let's say Monday to Wednesday night. So I'll probably go in Monday, Tuesday, and leave Wednesday, and then go to the Philippines, and I'll be in the Philippines until Sunday night or Monday morning, and I'll just fly back to Japan. And it's really not that much money. I just really wanted to. This is what I considered good news for myself, because I love New York City, as you can see. New York is a beautiful city. Everywhere has violence, but New York is a beautiful city. This is in a place called Grand Army Plaza. It's in a Park Slope section of Brooklyn, New York, where I was born and raised. I actually have a lot of memories in that library right there. That's the Brooklyn Public Library. I have a lot of stories to tell in there. I mean, just like a lot. Back to what I was saying. Thank God I was, that I did not give up. But the last thing I want to say to people who are looking to work in different countries. You can work in these other countries as a remote worker. You absolutely can, and you absolutely can get your visa there. Um, so I told my job, I said, hey, I would like to go to Tokyo. So what they're doing is, Tokyo is not cheap, by the way. So Tokyo is actually, I wouldn't say more expensive than New York, but it's just not cheap. Like, don't think it's a cheap place, which was good for me. Why? I had to look at markets in Asia that would let me keep my salary, right? So Tokyo, they was like, oh, well, if you move to Tokyo, we'll let you keep your salary, right? We have a Malaysia office, for instance. They said, nope, if you move to Asia, we're going to have to do a COLA. That's a cost of living adjustment. And basically, they would reduce my salary downward 70%. Yes, believe it or not. They pay you based on where you live, okay? Um, so in my case, I said, what are the markets? What are the cities? What are the countries that I can move to that I could keep my salary? One was Singapore, and Tokyo was the other one. Um, there was some talk about Hong Kong, but I said, I don't think I want to go there. So anyway, what I do want to tell people is, don't think that you can't get a good job overseas. Try to start in your home country. Get a job. Try to strategically find a job that has offices in international locations, right? And based on that, you're going to have to see if, while you're in America, in my case, I'm in America, you have to just see, you have to work there for, a year, and you have to perform well. So you got to do good at your job. You have to be very well at your job. And then, they give you performance ratings, and then it's like, all right, this person's doing good. We'll give them an A, we'll give them a B, right? We'll give them an F, right? And if you get a good rating, you should be able to move, to another location, so long as you are able to keep fulfilling your responsibilities. So that was my strategy. I said, you know what, man, I'm just gonna go to Tokyo. I'm gonna get a small place in Tokyo, but my heart is in the Philippines. So I am still gonna have my place in the Philippines. I am still eventually going to retire in the Philippines. Not to mention, and I'll probably do another video on that, but there's some news out. The Philippine government, there's a new visa for retirement. They dropped the retirement age from 50 to 40, and some people could probably keep me honest. And but I know I do have a lawyer out there, and so I believe they dropped it to 40. I have to get some more details. I'm not ready to retire yet, so I haven't really paid too much attention to it. But I know they mentioned it was something like you have to leave a significant deposit. I believe it's $20,000 or maybe 30,000 US dollars. Again, I don't really know too much about it, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is because that's good news. That's actually good news. So yeah, don't, if you ever feel like discouraged about, hey, I do want to move to the Philippines, or if you want to move anywhere, if you want to move to Vietnam, you want to move to, wherever you want to move to, trust me, there are companies that have branches in different countries. And, but you should always try to get sign off to not apply for the job in that country, right? Apply in your own home country, right? Get establish clout, create some respect for the manager that you work for. Create a bond with the offices that you want to work at. So, for instance, when I started, I was talking very nice to the people in Japan, and I built up a nice rapport with them, with the people in Japan. and I'm looking over there. I hate when people have their dogs and the dog is not on the leash. It's like, put your dog on the leash. It's gonna bite people. Anyway, so wherever you do want to move to, if you're dealing with someone in the China office or in the London office, or you know, or even if you have the Philippines office, the problem is with the there's a bee that tried to sting me. The problem with the Philippines, unfortunately, is even if we had an office there, they would pay me, once again, COLA, cost of living adjustment. So human resources, they would reduce my salary because Philippines isn't considered. No offense to my Kababanyans, my people in the Philippines, but Philippines isn't considered a high salary market for what I do. I'm not saying people in the Philippines don't make money, because there's a lot of rich people in the Philippines. In fact, when you go to the Philippines, don't be surprised if you see Ferraris. There's actually a Ferrari store. There's a Maybach store. There's Mercedes Benz. I saw a Tesla, a brand new Tesla. So there's Maseratis, Rolls Royce. There's a lot of stuff. So I don't want to be, disrespectful to the people in the Philippines. I'm just saying that it's not a high salary market for finance, because that's what I'm in, right? So yeah, I just want to tell you all that you can definitely get a job, working remotely, and then maybe you could work out something where you could say, hey, I could still go into that office a couple of times a week, but I really would like to, and I just want to say this quickly. In my case, we actually are looking to hire someone in Asia because we're expanding. So I said, hey, I was the first person that said, hey, by the way, I think, for Japan, how about I work over there, and then we could look at possibly hiring someone else that's more of a junior level than I am. So that's kind of the way I did it. I asked them to strategically hire me, and over there in Japan, and this way I could work over there, and obviously live over there, but still be able to go to the Philippines, which is where I really want to end up, and which is where I will be retiring. So I hope this video really helps. Trust me, people, there's so many American companies over there, but again, you're not applying for the company over there. I would give you a few examples. Abbott Laboratories, Google it. Abbott Laboratories is a huge company. Don't hold me to this, but I think they're based in Chicago. You can get a job. Excuse me, this bee is trying to. You can basically get a job in Chicago, supporting the Philippines office. Again, they're probably not going to pay you Chicago salary, so you got to just be mindful of that. So if you want to move to the Philippines, maybe they have a Tokyo office that you would be able to get that New York salary. I mean, that Chicago salary if you're from Chicago. Abbott Laboratories is there. J.P. Morgan is there. Wells Fargo is there. There's a German bank, Deutsche Bank is there. Deutsche. Deutsche Bank is there. I think Citibank was there, but they got bought out. Anyway, I'm just giving you a few examples. Amazon, corporate, is there. Not just delivering packages. The corporate office is there. Microsoft is there. So many different companies are there. And these aren't just BPO companies. These are actually the corporate company. These are the corporate locations. So that's why I'm saying, if I were you guys, I would try to, again, apply for the job, get the job in the country that you work for. That you live in my case, in America. and then see if there's a need. Like, are you emailing anyone in a different country? You know, is that country close to the country that you want to eventually be moving to? You know, and that's how you could kind of do it, you know, because yeah. So that's what worked for me, because I know if I was to apply for a job in Tokyo, they wouldn't give me the job, or maybe they would, but it wouldn't be much easy. It wouldn't be much much easier for me because I'm an American, right? So I would be applying for that job there. They probably would want to give it to somebody, you know, that's from that is Japanese, you know. That's why I think, you know, the easy way to do it is try to get the job in America, secure the job, and then see who you're working with. And if you're working with people in different countries, start to see, hey, can I do a transfer to that country? And start asking your human resources department what it would look like if you were to transfer. And then they would tell you, well, if you go to this country, like for instance in India, your salary is going to get reduced by 80%. Yeah, 80%. So let's say you're making $100,000 US. If you go to India, you will make $10,000. And people might laugh and think $10,000 is a lot of money over there. Okay. Anyway, I'm just trying to let you know, like, how you could kind of bypass the cost of living. You know, the cost of living adjustments in these particular countries. You can apply in your own hometown, and hopefully they have offices in other countries, and then see if you could do a transfer. So if you really enjoyed this video, I want you to like and subscribe, and more to come.